where the name played a pivotal role. And that's why the question arises, if the name is so important, why did Imam Ali name his sons Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman? Why? Ali ibn Abi Talib has no other names to name. He names his son Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman. And as I said, there's a YouTube video where there is a Maulana speaking on this issue, and he's speaking his hardest to try and show that there was no problem between Ali ibn Abi Talib, Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman. This is all the Shia and their myths. Otherwise, if Ali ibn Abi Talib had a problem with them, he wouldn't name his sons. Let me try and go through these names one by one. Firstly, Abu Bakr. Did Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib name his son Abu Bakr? Abu Bakr, firstly, is not a name. Abu Bakr is a title. Abu Bakr is not a name, it's a kunya. Abu Bakr's original name is what? His original name is Atiq. His mother Salma and his father Uthman. His father Uthman has a title, Abi Quhafa. Yes? Abu Bakr's father is called Abi Quhafa by kunya. You know, someone might call me, if I'm Ammar in the Iraqi community, they might call me Abu Yasser. Yes? Or they might call me Abu Ali. Or they might call me Abu Hussein. Abu is a kunya. Abu Bakr, his original name is what? His original name is Atiq. He was one of three brothers, Atiq, Mu'taq and Utaq. His mother Salma and his father Uthman, they gave him that name. When he became a Muslim, he changed his name from Atiq to what? To Abdullah. Yes? That's why people would know him as Abdullah bin Abi Quhafa. If Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib wants to name his son Abu Bakr after Abu Bakr, then he wouldn't name him Abu Bakr. He would name him Atiq, or he'd name him Abdullah. If people are putting forth this argument, and as we said clearly, Abu Bakr is not a name, it's a title. It's saying the father of someone. Therefore, on the first level, those who came and said that Imam Ali named his son Abu Bakr and that the proof can be seen, firstly we said that's not his name. Secondly, Imam Ali's son, who they say is called Abu Bakr, his original name is Muhammad al-Asghar. Yes, there may have been people who called him with the kunya Abu Bakr, but not Ali ibn Abi Talib. There is not one single hadith where Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib says, my son Muhammad al-Asghar, his kunya or his title is Abu Bakr. Yes, the community may call him. Someone may come one day and say, what's your name? Say Muhammad. Say, I want to call you Abu Bakr as your kunya. I want to call you Abu Hamza. I want to call you Abu Hussein. You can call me anything you want, Habibi. My name is Muhammad al-Asghar. Yes? Thirdly, if Imam Ali did name, let's say, for the hypothetical sake, let's say he named his son Abu Bakr. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib had no good friends of his who were called Abu Bakr. So if he names his son Abu Bakr, it's only after one Abu Bakr. There's no other Abu Bakr in the whole of Mecca or Medina. One of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib's closest friends was Abu Bakr bin Hazim al-Ansari. Abu Bakr bin Hazim al-Ansari was one of the tightest friends of Ali ibn Abi Talib. When someone comes and tells me Imam Ali named his son Abu Bakr, irrespective of the proofs that I just showed that he didn't name his son, even if he did name his son, what, it has to be only after one Abu Bakr? Abu Bakr bin Hazim al-Ansari was this tight with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Why can't Ali ibn Abi Talib name his son after Abu Bakr bin Hazim? Why does it have to be Abu Bakr bin Abi Quhafa? But as we said, there is no evidence ever that Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib gave the title Abu Bakr to his son Muhammad al-Asghar. Never. If Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib wanted to name his son after Abu Bakr, he should call him either Atiq or Abdullah. That's number one. Someone says, okay, well, it's clear that he named his son Umar. Yes? Let's reply to this as well. As for the naming of the son Umar, firstly, look at the story as to how that son was called Umar. In Tarikh Medina of Ibn Shubba, you find that Ibn Shubba mentions, he says Umar ibn al-Khattab heard that Ali ibn Abi Talib's wife Taghlabiyya was pregnant, and then he heard that she gave birth. So he told Ali ibn Abi Talib, I want your son to be named after me. And Umar ibn al-Khattab can want his son to be named after him. It doesn't mean that Ali ibn Abi Talib is going to name his son after what Umar wants. I can come to my friend today and say to him, I want your son to be named after me, Ammar. My friend might name his son Hussein, Haydar, Ja'far, Hamza, but in my eyes it might be named after me. When you look at the story of how supposedly Imam Ali's son Umar was called Umar, it's Umar ibn al-Khattab telling Ali ibn Abi Talib, you have to name him after me. I want him to be named after me. Since when did Ali ibn Abi Talib have to listen to Umar ibn al-Khattab about the naming of names? Yes. Secondly, is it Umar or Amr? That's open to question even amongst the historians. Thirdly, there were 35 Umars living in the time when Umar, the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib, was born. So what if he names his son Umar? That means it's only after Ibn al-Khattab. There's no other Umar living. And that's why Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib answered this question. Someone came to him and said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, your son Umar, who did you name him after? Please listen carefully. Your son Umar, who did you name him after? He said, I named him after Umar bin Muqrin. Who's Umar bin Muqrin? Umar bin Muqrin was the son of Salama, the wife of Rasulullah. Yes? Salama, she had got married to Rasulullah, but she had sons from before. Of them was Umar bin Muqrin. This Umar bin Muqrin, do you know how loyal he was to Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib? Unbelievable loyalty. Jamal, front line. Siffin, front line. Governor of Bahrain for Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. You know, for Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib to make you his governor is a prestigious position. That Umar bin Muqrin was the governor of Bahrain, the land of Bahrain. He was the governor of Bahrain for Imam Ali. Therefore, when Imam Ali had a son, when someone asked him, what did you name him? He said, Umar. He said, after who? He could have easily turned around and said, I named my son Umar after Umar ibn al-Khattab. Never. There's not one single hadith where he says, I named my son after Umar ibn al-Khattab. Rather, when they asked him, he said, I named my son after Umar bin Muqrin, the son of Salama. I have so much love for him that I wanted one of my sons to be named after him. Someone then asked the question, how about the son Uthman, the brother of Abu Fadl al-Abbas, son of al-Banin? Who did he name Uthman after? Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib was asked, your son Uthman, who did you name him after? Did you name him after Uthman bin Affan? Wallah, there's not one hadith which says Ali ibn Abi Talib named him after Uthman bin Affan. When they asked him, who did you name your son Uthman after? He said, Uthman bin Mad'un. Uthman bin Mad'un was the 14th revert to the religion of Islam. So when Islam was a new religion in Mecca, the 14th revert to the religion was Uthman bin Mad'un. This Uthman bin Mad'un was an extremely humble and sincere Sahabi of Rasulullah. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib used to praise him for one thing. He used to say that in the days of Jahiliyyah, before Islam had reached Mecca, there were only a few Sahaba who never drank alcohol. Yes, even though you find many of them were drinking, and the Quran used to say, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَأَنْتُمْ sukara, don't approach salah while you're intoxicated. There were only a few of them who may not have been Muslims, but they never drank alcohol in their life. Of them was Uthman bin Mad'un, that although he was not a Muslim, he wouldn't drink alcohol, and when the people would ask him why, he would say, because it inhibits my rational faculties, and therefore I don't want to be someone who is rude to others because of what the drink does to me. This Uthman bin Mad'un has a famous story. Aisha once comes to Rasulullah and she says to him, and Aisha once comes to Rasulullah and narrates, she says, I went to the most beautiful lady in Arabia. When we were growing up, she was the most beautiful. I went to her house and she was extremely disheveled. Her appearance was all over the place. So I looked at her, I said, excuse me, what's wrong with you? You used to look so beautiful. Now your appearance is disheveled. She said, who should I look beautiful for? My husband Uthman bin Mad'un spends the whole day fasting and the whole night praying. Yes, we have people like that in our community. They think if they neglect the rights of their wife and their family by praying the whole day, this is what is the meaning of Islam. No, that's not Islam. That's a rahbaniyya ibtada'uha. That's a type of monasticism that's got nothing to do with our religion. This particular lady complained to Aisha. Aisha went to Rasulullah. She said, Ya Rasulullah, Uthman bin Mad'un's not treating his wife properly. Rasulullah went to Uthman bin Mad'un, but he knew Uthman bin Mad'un was a sincere human being. He went to him. He said to him, Oh Uthman, have you been neglecting the rights of your wife? He said, Ya Rasulullah, I am fasting in the day, I am praying in the night. There were others who were saying we don't want to put perfume on. There are people who have a belief perfume is a sign of a person who's away from God. Yes, in Christianity there was a certain time where if you don't perfume yourself, you were seen as being godly, whereas Rasulullah used to say the only thing in Islam you can be extravagant in is perfume. And that's a license for all of you to go out and buy expensive perfumes. So you find that Rasulullah used to say, the only thing in Islam you could be extravagant in is perfume. Those of you who want to buy Creed tomorrow, and you want to buy, for example, Tom Ford, that was your license to all go out and buy, inshallah. So Rasulullah, these people, these companions would say, no perfume, no meat, no woman. Rasulullah turned around to them and he said to them, no. Rasulullah turned around and said, I am one who perfumes himself. I am one with my woman. I am one who eats meat. Religion is not staying away with these. Religion is to be balanced with these, yes? Eat meat, but not crazily. Try explain that to some of our mosques. Put perfume, no problem. Try and be someone with your wife as much as you can. That is what Islam wants. So that Uthman bin Mad'un didn't reply to Rasulullah like some, because there were some, if Rasulullah said that to them, they have a big mouth, yes? Uthman bin Mad'un, when Rasulullah said, he said, Ya Rasulullah, forgive me. I did not see it in that way. That man, him and Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib were so close that when al-Banin had her child, remember al-Banin gave Imam Ali 4 kids, all of them were at Karbala. When she gave birth, he said, I want to name him Uthman after Uthman bin Mad'un. Therefore, if someone comes and tells me Imam Ali named his son Abu Bakr, no, Abu Bakr is not a name, it's a title. If someone comes and tells me Umar, he named him after Umar bin Muqrin. If someone comes and tells me he named his son Uthman, he named him after Uthman bin Mad'un. I would like to ask this question. If you're telling me Imam Ali loved Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman because he named his sons after them, did they name their sons after Ahl al-Bayt or no? Because if Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman are so fond of Ahl al-Bayt and they love Ahl al-Bayt, so I'm sure they'd name their sons after Ahl al-Bayt, yes? Because they knew Ali ibn Abi Talib is from Ahl al-Bayt, Hassan and Hussein Sayyid Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, Fatima al-Zahra bad'atun minni man adaha faqad adani. Let's look at the name of their children and if any of them even bothered to name their sons after Ahl al-Bayt. Abu Bakr, look at his children. If I look from one side, Asma, Aisha. If I look, for example, Abd al-Rahman, I don't see anyone named after Ahl al-Bayt alayhim as-salam, yes? Let's move on to Umar. Let's see if he named any of his sons or his daughters. Hafsa, Abdullah, Abd al-Rahman. Once again, I don't see anyone who's named. Why don't you name your son Hassan? You love Hassan, don't you? You love him. When you pushed the door, you really loved him. Not an issue to smile about. You love Hassan? Yes. Name your son. Did not Rasulullah in front of you, didn't he used to kiss their neck? He used to kiss their lip, didn't he? So name your son. Or name your son Hussein. I'd love to see you name your son Hussein. Let's move on. Uthman, what's the name of his children? Aban bin Uthman, Abdullah bin Uthman, Sa'id bin Uthman, Maryam bin Uthman. Uthman, why don't you name your daughter Fatima? Why don't you name your daughter Ali? Your son Ali? Why don't you name your son Hassan? Why don't you name your son Hussein? If you all loved Ahl al-Bayt as you claim, then name one of your children after Al-Muhammad. Not one of them named his children after Al-Muhammad. When I have an issue with Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman, and 300 million of us have an issue, it's not because we randomly woke up one morning and thought, you know what, let's just pick someone and have an issue. It's because we saw the usurping of the rights of Al-Muhammad in Saqifa, and we saw the usurping of Fadak from Fatima al-Zahra, and we saw usurping of the man chosen on the day of Ghadir, and we saw a man who called Rasulullah delirious. And if you want, I'm discussing this historically. Yes, for the person who's worried about his cultural ideals and whether his family will kick him out of his house, yes, that person will not want to take this in because it hurts. But this is history, and you have to ask yourself what you want to hold on to. And I tell you something, a name carried a lot in Islamic history. How? Because a name was either the cause of you living or the cause of you dying. Do you know how many people were named after Al-Muhammad who were executed because they were named after them or no? Do you know how many people? And today we are scared to name Ali, Hassan and Hussein. That when a new husband and wife sit together, what do you think we should name our kid? Ali, boring. There are some say everyone's called Ali. Wallah, I wish the whole earth was full of Ali ibn Abi Talib's name. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. What's the name of your son? I want to name Abbas. Ah, there's too many Abbases. Too many. Wallah, that man you can't have too much of. I drink the drink of Abu Fadl all my life. And it would be an honor every time I turn round in this world to hear an Abbas. What shall we name our son? Kadhim? Oh, Kadhim, it doesn't come off the tongue nicely. Those 20 years in prison for you in Baghdad, they didn't come off the tongue nicely. When he was in prison, that didn't come off nicely for you. You found, do you know how many people were killed? How many were mocked? I remember Muawiyah coming to Ibn Abbas. He said to him, what did you name your son, Ibn Abbas? I heard you just had a son. He said, Ali. He said, what did you call him? He said, Abul Hassan. He said, so you gave him the name of the man and the title. You had no other name to give? From that day onwards, anyone called the names of Ahlul Bayt was to be vilified. One man mentions, I went to Sham. When I went to Sham, I was walking around Sham. He said, whenever I'd ask what's people's names, they give me these names, Marwan and Ziyad, and names like this. These names. He said, there was no Hassan, no Hussein. And I'm telling you, there are certain countries in the Muslim world today, you will hardly hear Hassan or Hussein. They find it difficult to name. When you say to him, why don't you name? He says, because I'm scared people will think I'm a Shia. Habibi, which Shia? You're a lover of Muhammad and Al-Muhammad. Which Shia? So a person walked around in Sham. He said, I was walking around and I look around, there's no one called Hassan Hussein. So he said, I reached my friend's house. He said, when I reached my friend's house, I sat with him, we were talking, then all of a sudden he said, Hassan, Hussein, come and meet your uncle. So he said, I smiled, I said, Alhamdulillah, at least someone called his sons Hassan and Hussein. So I said to him, MashaAllah, you call your sons Hassan and Hussein? He said, why MashaAllah? He said, well, you call them Hassan and Hussein? He said, no. He said, so whenever I'm angry with them, I send la'na on Hassan and la'na on Hussein. This is what it reached. Hajjaj bin Yusuf al-Thaqafi on Eid al-Adha used to sit on his palace throne and he used to say, what are people doing today? So his courtiers would say to him, they're killing the sheep, sacrifice, qurbani, yes? So he said, very well, go out there and kill anyone called Ali, Hassan or Hussein. That's it. And there were people killed because of their names. How many were killed? Simply because they held on to those names. When we today want to hold on to the names of Ahlul Bayt, why? Because we want to make sure Ali ibn Abi Talib's name never dies in Islam. We want to make sure Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hussein, all of their names never die. And not only their names don't die, we want to make sure we exemplify their names on this earth, isn't it? As in, do you know what Ahlul Bayt used to do? If Imam al-Sadiq, with all his greatness, if he used to walk past someone's house and he sees a father say to his son, Muhammad, come here next to me, then Imam al-Sadiq would lower his head. The father would say, oh grandson of Rasulullah, why do you lower your head? He said, because whenever you hear the name Muhammad, you should lower your head out of respect for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Even further than that, even further, you would find, for example, the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, Imam al-Sadiq would come to someone one day, he would say to that person, he would say to him, what's your daughter's name? He said, my daughter's name is Fatima. Do you know what Imam al-Sadiq said to him? Never slap your daughter. The person would say, what do you mean? He said, because it reminds us of the slap of our grandmother Fatima al-Zahra. Yes? That look after your daughter. If she's called Fatima, don't hurt her. Because Ahlul Bayt don't want any child hurt. But especially a child named after al-Zahra. Because it reminds them of what happened to al-Zahra. Therefore the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, even when you look at their sons, all their sons, very similar names. Imam Ali, Hassan, let's say Hussein. Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Hussein, Imam al-Sajjad, Ali, Muhammad, Hussein, Ali, Muhammad, Hussein. Very similar. They didn't come out with a name which sounds like a tree in China, or they didn't come out with a name that sounds like a city somewhere in America. They came out with names which preserved and looked after their history. And that's why for every single one of us sitting in this hall today, there is a need to reflect on our names. In which way? When I look at my name, I need to ask myself, have I really represented the man I'm named after?